Hey guys, welcome to Vet Readiness Bootcamp. I am Nick the Vet. I'm going to cover two quick topics today. One is how the Rudisill Act affects us in VR&E services, and also about you guys asking for 2 tracks at once or 2 degrees at once. First, for the Rudisill Act, how that affects VR&E services. It really only affects us in one way. If you got MGIB, you do not get BAH when you're using VR&E services. But if you got post 9/11, you do get BAH. And now, since the Rudisill Act, if you got both, you still get BAH. So that's how it affects you. It doesn't change the 48-month rule. So for VR&E services, it doesn't change entitlement time frame. It doesn't change entitlement criteria, none of that. But remember, if you're in VR&E services and you already used your 48 months, you can still go up to 81 months with a serious employment handicap and beyond if you get special approval. Even if you used MGIB, and all of your post 9/11, you can still get more if you have a serious employment handicap. Please look at this video if you don't know what that is. It does not mean seriously handicapped. It does not mean anything other than meeting this 9 criteria. Okay, second part. You guys are asking for a lot, and some of you are getting it, and some of you are getting blown out of the water because you're asking for too much up front. It is not advisable that you tell them, I want a bachelor's and then a master's, or that you tell them, I want to get a degree and then switch to self-employment. They're not going to do that. I'm telling you guys how I did it and that it can be done, but I think you guys are pulling out just the part you want to hear and then going for it. And again, a lot of you are getting blown out of the water, and you're being denied even for the bachelor's simply because you're adamant that you want the master's afterwards and you haven't even gotten the bachelor's. Just get what you need. If you can justify the master's later, do that. Once you get in the program, they want you to get out. They want you to succeed. It looks good for their raises. It looks good for their promotions. They don't want to have people come in and drop out. They want you to come in, finish the degree, and get suitable employment so it looks good on their record. And I guess they kind of want to help us too, but honestly, I think it's more about them, but whatevs. So don't do that. Don't reveal your whole hand, because what you're telling them is, this is what you're saying. Hi, I want a lot of stuff. I'm going to be on your books for a long time. I have a lot of opportunity to fail. I might drop out. I might make it. I might not. You probably won't get your raise, but I'm going to ask for a lot of stuff and a Mac. Please approve me. That's how they're hearing it. So don't go in there and tell them everything. Just get the bachelor's you need. And then if you can justify the master's later, do it. Because the reality is, if you can't justify it in 2 years or 4 years when you finish your bachelor's, you can't justify it today. And all you're doing if you present that today is pissing them off and making them not want to even give you the bachelor's. Same thing with self-employment. The way I was able to switch from a master's degree to self-employment is because after I got my master's in television and film producing, I can't go get a job as a producer immediately. I need a reel, something that's professional and broadcast ready that I can show people that I did recently, not 8 years prior. So I asked them for money to get the reel done so I would be job ready, because I couldn't be put in job ready status, check out this video, until I had my resume, which in my field is a reel. That's when I found out they can't give us money. So I said, well, can you give me the equipment? And they said, not under this program because you've already finished the degree. But then I found out they could do it under self-employment. So I said, well, can I switch to self-employment so I can get the equipment, so I can have the equipment to do the reel, then I can pay my crew, but I don't have to buy or rent equipment? And they said, yes. So my switch was not, people are like, I'm more comfortable. Working in an office stresses me out. It didn't stress you out 4 years ago when they approved you for a bachelor's. Now all of a sudden it stresses you out and you need self-employment. Those are not feasible, tangible, realistic explanations. You have to have something that is real and logical. So get the degree, and then as you're coming up to the end of the degree, then you start introducing self-employment based on a regulation that requires it. If you tell them all that up front, they're going to shut you down. You're going to get nothing. Other part of that is, stop asking for all this stuff up front. The second you get approved, oh, I want retroactive induction. I need a MacBook. I need a chair and a desk and a monitor because of my neck. And I need to get all my GI Bill back because I want to get my master's as soon as I'm finished. These people, this is not your girlfriend, or your bro. You don't need to tell them all that stuff. You're messing yourself up. Hold your cards close to the vest. Be honest about what you want now, And then once you get in and you've signed your IWRP and you're in class and have already paid for your first semester, then you ask about, oh, what's up with retroactive induction? I mean, maybe you can talk about that in the beginning, but don't talk about it and be like, yeah, because I want to do this and I need that money back in 3 weeks because I'm trying to pay off my car. They don't need to hear all that stuff. And you make them nervous when you do that. You make them think you're high maintenance. So wait till you are approved. Everything is in writing. Then you drop the first thing you need. They're not going to give you equipment before you start class because you may not start. You could quit. Anything could happen. They're not going to give it to you. So don't even annoy them by suggesting it. Wait until your first day. Hey, I got my syllabus. I looked around. I'm going to need this equipment. Use the one of the letters from this video, number 40, and then start asking. Then after about 3 weeks, hey, I'm having some trouble with my chair. Can I get a chair? Then maybe after a month, I think I need a monitor. However you want to do it, but don't dump all of that on them at the same time. And if you do decide to dump it, hey, it's perfectly cool. It's your life. But if you email me and go, what do I do? They want to kick me out of the program because I asked for too much stuff. My suggestion would be go back and say, never mind, I don't really need it. I'm good. I'm good the way I am. Then wait about 6 months and then ask for one thing. Then wait a month, ask for another thing. The thing is, they want you to get out of the program and be successful because it looks good for them. Now, do they also want you to succeed? Probably, but my experience is for the most part, the challenges you receive from VRCs is because they're protecting themselves and their jobs. And in this volatile market right now in the federal government, I don't blame them. They just want to make sure that their record is going to look good at the end. So you have to present the best case possible so that it looks like you're going to be in there, you're going to do what you need, you're going to be quiet, keep your nose down. And then once you get in, then you can start asking for things. So that's my advice. Again, you can always do whatever you want. But if you did something opposite from what I said and it blew up in your face, my suggestion is to go back to where the last thing I told you to do and start there. One person was getting ready to get kicked out because she was adamant she needed a master's. She hadn't even started the bachelor's. And she was pushing so hard for them to approve this master's that finally they were like, you're being non-compliant and we're going to, if you don't accept this bachelor's, we're going to shut your case down in 10 days or something. So she emails me like, what can I say? Because they're going to shut it down. I said, say you're sorry and you'll accept the bachelor's. What do you mean? What should I do? This is a free bachelor's with BAH for 4 years. Take it. Deal with the other stuff later. And if you don't get the master's, so what? Maybe you can get retroactive induction. Maybe you can use your student loans if you're 100%. Don't put yourself in these corners that you can't get out of because you want so much. Take what you can get and deal with the rest later. Okay, that's my advice. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick the Vet.